All right, sup guys? Are we actually live? Come on. Maybe we aren't. Okay, we actually are live. Ooh, that did not look good. Okay, we actually are live. Sweet, and you guys can hear me well enough. All right, so other than my hair looks a bit like crap, you can tell I prep a lot before these videos. So, or I guess it's not even a video, it's a live stream. I prep really well before these live streams. I had a guy at the club. He wanted me to show him how to paint. I figure, why not make content out of it? If I'm going to do it, I might as well make content out of it. So I'll show you guys how I go from making this into this. There's about a 30-second delay. That's not an issue. Crap. Do I not have my orange paint up here? No, I don't. I have the rich brown I use. Like I said, I really prep, and I prep really hard. And then I have my orange. Now then, it's either rich brown or chocolate brown is what I use, generally. And actually, I don't think I used either of those on this. I think I mixed it too much. At least on that green Pennsylvania. Or Penn Central. Sorry, it wasn't Pennsylvania. It was Penn Central. And in another video, I may decide to make some snowbirds. Or not snowbirds. That's my train's nicknames over at the club. Do one dab of that. And I don't think that's the right brown. And I do a dab of this. And I take a toothpick and I swirl it a little bit. I don't want a complete mix. See, like that's almost too much of a complete mix. Had I been smart, I would have double checked to make sure that I had brushes over here. And I do. On a little bit of a bigger brush. There we go. And then we just start painting. And actually, the reason I know to do this and mix the orange and brown is while I was learning how to paint, and I'm still am, I've got a lot to learn. I happened across an Only JS video where she was talking about how brown and orange are the same color. The only difference is one's really darker than the other. Now, when I do a rush job, as many of the people at the club have, well, not really many, but some have pointed out, mine is not prototypical, which is fine for me. And how I want to model. Because weathering on a car happens very, very different per car that you work with. Some will rust heavier on the top. Some are going to rust in any little crevice. Some are going to be darker in the crevices. So like this crevice here should go like this and make it really, really dark. But I like to do just the whole car. And the rivets, these rivets here, I don't know how well you can see. Oh yeah, you can see them, like the rivets here in this line. You can obviously see and tell that they're rivets to begin with. But the rivets are going to be your darkest patches. And see, had I mixed this so much better, you wouldn't get the lines and the orange coming out like you do. Because rust is a very orange. I mean, depending on how long it's sat there. Sometimes it's a very, very dark, a very, very dark color. Actually, I'm really happy with that. I really like this car now. See, and that looks, to me, like something that you would see coming down. Actually, a little bit darker on this side. To me, this looks like a train car, and I always sweep down or sweep up. Because the water, when it's sitting in a yard, is always going to go downwards. So if I swept side to side, my brush strokes would appear within this and show that I was doing side to side. And what do you know? School taught me something. Granted, it was art class, but school taught me something. And one of my favorite things to do in this hobby, when I do paint, which is not as often as I would like, and I should probably start doing it more, and I can make a lot of content out of it, is to do half and halves. I like to do cars, and you can see the difference. I would have just gone over this with brown. But you can see the difference when you add just a little bit of orange or equal parts orange, because you wind up with the different colors. And you never truly mix. And honestly, this is the only way I know how to weather. Do I need some work? Probably. But I don't think I'm horrible. And I've probably painted 30 odd things right off the top of my head that I can think of. But I also like to go for the really rust-filled cars. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a fair amount of my cars that are at the club that look like they're brand new. And actually, the trains I run, it's an RS1 and a Jeep 7, which are about 1949, would be their prototypical manufacture date. I run modern day equipment on the same train, mind you, or have been known to do it on the same train, with two F7s at the front. Sorry, not F7s, an F3A and an F3B. And are we still live? Okay, we are. What's the other thing? There are two SD40-2Ws that are CMs, and my cars range anywhere from the 1950s to the 1970s is the era of cars that I run. And we need to hit right here a little bit. Right here. And go downward. That way we actually get in here. Because like I said, I like to do the harder weathering. I want it to look like, even if this was a modern car, which I think it's closer to a modern car. BLT, BLT, BLT. New 8 of 1963. So yeah, this is a car that would most likely honestly look like this going down the track. Now the door probably would not be so heavily weathered. But like I said, I basically said, it's my railroad. I like to have heavier weathered things. If I'm going to weather something, don't get me wrong. A car like this, I like. Don't get me wrong. I see the appeal in it. But you show me a car that looks like that. Now I'm interested. Although it doesn't really come across all that great on camera. But I like it. I like it enough. So now I'm starting to see all the flaws in the paint. Let's see here. And that comes from not taking my time too much. But once again, you're going to have heavier spots in cars. It's just trying to mimic that. And then knowing what the different parts are, which I don't really know what they are. Oh, don't wipe off. Yeah. And the nice thing is you can always change up things. Like I'm using acrylic paint that I got from Hobby Lobby. So that being said, I'm not really showing what I'm doing. That being said, like I pay 64 cents, I think, for a bottle, which is, it's craft paint, acrylic, Anita's all-purpose acrylic, and it's 2 fluid ounces. I don't have a single inkling of an idea of how many cars that a person could do with this. I'll tell you, I haven't used hardly anything out of it, though. This brown should be brand new. But once again, I'm just using a drop a piece. But see, this is our before, what it looked like beforehand, with the nice shiny roof, and what it looks after with a little bit of a rusty roof. Now, I think that makes it pop a little bit more. And honestly, I should have gone a little bit darker on that door. But on camera, it looks nice enough. Oh, God, it should not be up close or put up close. That looks horrible up close. And it looks way too yellow. Like that strip of yellow there isn't there. Yeah, that's more accurate. If you mix this image with this image, you have it pretty well laid. Or a pretty good idea. Well, at least the paint's dry. Don't have to worry about that. Gotta check and see what percent my phone's on. Because I may have to step back and get the charger on it. You know what's nice is I could probably copyright strike myself. With the way YouTube is, well, to bet you I could copyright strike. I'm not going to. I'm not out to do it. Oh, you just wait. Okay, we're on 3%. You know what? I want to do this car. Because it's going to tell me if I want to get some green Penn Central cars. Now, I'm not a Penn Central guy. I'm not going to lie. As some of the members at the club that I'm a part of, not to talk bad about the club, I'm very happy to be in the club, and I like the fact that we can all speculate who likes what. They speculate I'm a CN guy because I have CN, got 6 locos that can run down at the club. Oh yeah, I'm going to need darker for this. I can already tell. Because I do not like, A, how bright that is on the camera, and B, how bright it is in real light or in person. Oh, let's see if I just screwed this up. And this is just a car because it doesn't have a frame. Which is the biggest thing. It's got no floorboards or anything like that. So I can't run this down at the club. So what do I use these for? Well, it would be a junkyard lot. You know, it can be an office in a junkyard. And it can be very, very heavily weathered. Like this is sat out in the rain for BLT. 16701. 6 of 62. So the same year as our other car that we just did. So let's say, okay, it's 6 of 62. 6 of 62. Hey, I was right. But so it's new, 6 of 62. Okay, so it is 80 years old. It's an 80-year-old car. We can weather this with numerous coats of paint or some really, really thick ones. And it doesn't, in my opinion, it doesn't matter. No, there's going to be seasoned vets that are going to hopefully watch this, critique, and go, okay, you shouldn't have done that. You should have done this. That's fine. I'm open to new suggestions. But I think that if I go heavier in some spots, it's going to make it appear like there's horrible rust patches. That's my whole thing. I like to see the darker aspects. I want a car that looks almost like that. You can't really see that it was Penn Central at one point. You can't really see the paint. You know, you're stuck seeing, okay, it's an old rusted up box. And the inspiration for the thought behind cars like these is you find them behind buildings for storage. And they were just sitting there, just like this, roached out as can be, just chilling. At least that's my thought behind it. Oh, yep, this is an old roundhouse. It's got to be an old roundhouse. I've put a couple of these together. One day I'll do that because I tried, actually, probably here one day very, very soon. I will be getting some new cars. In fact, I could look that up on eBay right now and see when I'm going to get my new cars. I buy off of eBay because, little known secret, you can get crap really cheap on eBay, especially when it comes to train cars. Now, I don't know if anybody watching this or who's gonna watch. I don't know if you guys are looking to start into model railroading. I don't know what you're looking at doing. But I implore you, or rather invite you, implore, invite. I think it's the same thing. I don't know. I don't use big words very often. But go to Intermountain. Intermountain is a great brand. I've got 4 of their locomotives. The both F3s. I bought secondhand off of eBay, and 2 SD40-2Ws and CN liveries. I don't have a problem with their locomotives. I love their locomotives. I really do. But I'm not spending $319 for a brand new locomotive. I can't afford that. I also cannot afford $59.95 for a single grain hopper, nor can I afford, what was it, $70, which I'm not doing anyway. I would not do this. You could not pay me to do this. Mostly because it goes against what, as a modeler, I would like to model. $173 for a set of 3 for a set of 3 well cars, which you need if you're going to model intermodal cars. And if you need proof that I haven't looked at my phone for any of that kind of information, there we are, just live streaming. Can you actually see my phone in the screen? Yup. But there we are, just live streaming away. So now that I've shown you how I weather, let's get into my favorite time of the year. This is Flex Paste. I love this stuff. Okay? Absolutely adore it. I love it. It's great stuff. It really is my favorite stuff. Got two locomotives down at the club, the RS1 and the Jeep 7, which are nicknamed the Snowbirds. Now, as much as I would love to have them here, I didn't pick them up. I didn't think about it. I also do not have a setup here. But what I do have is I went down to the club and I picked up a couple things that are mine. Paid $5 a car. This should be a Walthers. Canadian National. Should be another Walthers Canadian National stock car. Canadian Pacific stock car. That should be Walthers. Here we go. This should be a Roundhouse, but it's Canadian National. Take my word for it. That being said, whether you guys believe it or not, I myself am not a CN person. Don't get me wrong, I like the red of the CN and I like the red of the Canadian Pacific. I do. I really, really do. But at the end of the day, that's not what gets me. And I will be getting a new locomotive. I don't know when, but I will be getting a new one. That being said, I don't have one yet. And I also don't think I have a napkin in here. It's fine. I have a little bit of water by my on my desk here, which is actually a very old desk. I don't think this desk has ever made it into the... No, it did. It did. This was the old desk that used to sit in the train room at my old apartment that was blue. Yeah. Yep, it had made its way into a few videos. Do I want to risk using... Yeah, I'll risk getting rid of one of these. They're cheap brushes. Besides, I wouldn't mind another set. Now, this stuff I absolutely adore, but I need to be careful with it. Because when it dries, it's going to be bad. I like to do a little bit of this. Now, like I said, the Snowbirds needed a little something to improve them. And you know, when a car sits for long enough, and it's in a yard, it's going to wind up with a little snow on it. And drifts kind of do their own thing. So if I have a little more here and I have a little more there, at the end of the day, it doesn't really bother me. Besides, these are cars I'd have to look at photos of to go back and see what they would have actually looked like. And I'm not doing that today. Or how they would have been piled up in the snow. No, you're not coming into my lap. Though I do have on a shirt I don't care about because I'm going to paint, because I'm painting, and because I'm playing with this stuff. Now for the fun part that I really, really like. Now then, you use the flex paste in front of or behind Woodland Scenics Snowflake. Now, you don't have to use the same product that I'm using. Honestly, I don't mind one way or the other, which you do. I mean, I live by a simple thing. In fact, one of the newest members at the train club is learning that now. I am not a fan of a very particular railroad that is in America, where I live, that started 1969, 1972, somewhere in that time frame is when this railroad started. Not a problem. Great that it started. It cannot go more than, I looked at all the accident records, more than 8 months as a passenger service. More than 8 months as an accident without having an accident. But that's my take on said railroad, and this guy really likes it, and I don't, and more power to the guy. I make jokes. He goes, "What do you think of my train?" And I go, it would look better on the side of a mountain. But it's all in good fun. It's just like a rivet counter. If you as a modeler are a rivet counter, I see it as fair game. If that's what you want to do and that's how you want to be in the hobby, and you need to be a rivet counter to feel any kind of joy, then at the end of the day, more power to you. I'm happy for you. If you can slap a Tyco down on the track like I can, I'll gladly run Bachmann and Tyco from 1950s, 1970s and run it. I love doing that. If you can do that and that's how you choose to model, more power to you. If you have to be prototypical, and if you're going to run snow, and it's got to be this time of the year. Okay, it's Christmas. I can run snow. More power to you. If you're like me and you go, you know what? It's the middle of July. I have snow cars. Snow is my favorite time of the year. I don't get to run it very often. Well, I'm doing it today because I feel like it. More power to you once again. Going back over because I need to add a little snow to make me happy. Yeah, right there. And then we dump it off. And that's what it takes to make me happy. Just a little bit of snow. And if I can't have snow in real life, I'm going to have it in model form. Do I know if it would actually build up on the sides? Not a clue. But that's not what's important to me. Like I said, I'm not a prototypical modeler. If it looks good, it runs. Now then, I actually do need to make sure I don't lock that door up. This is why I'm wearing bad pants, because then I can just wipe it on my jeans. And you know what? Who's to say snow wouldn't end up there? You know? It's in between two cars. Snow behaves funny, gets packed in weird places, and this coupler's going to go to garbage because when that dries, or is there not a spring? Oh, I need a toothpick. Is my toothpick still in here? There it is. I mean, I guess it won't be a big deal if the coupler gets jammed and closed, or in a closed position. But it will be if it gets jammed in a closed position. And there's no way of getting the coupler cleaned out. But it's fine, I need to buy couplers anyway. Happy little accidents. Besides, it would come out after being coupled up enough times. Oh no, I forgot about this side. Oh, and my phone's shutting down. A little bit of gentle application. In the spots where it would have been applied. And I should probably get going and go to bed. But I want to finish this car. And a little bit of overhang. Is it prototypical? Probably not to have that much overhang on the car. But we're going with it. Because I think it looks good. And it's my model railway. I have a lot of these cars to do yet. I have 1, 2, 3, 5 left. Yeah, 5 left. Is that counting? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 6 left. 6 left because I need to count a caboose in there. And we go like this. Because the wind was blowing on it and made it stick to the sides and it sat for too long. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. It's wintertime. Snow does weird things. Gets in between cars, sticks to them, clings to them. It happens. Things happen. But all right, I think with that car being completed, and this is always a hazard. You get the flex pace, you get pain, territory of what you're trying to do. It's going to happen. It's fine. But all right, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know it's on par with what I would normally do, but it's a bit more talking. Let me know if you guys like this style. I will probably in the next one. I've got a stack. 3, 4 Acura, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 Roundhouse, and 1 Blue Box Athearn kit that need to be put together. Oh no. Add another Roundhouse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 Roundhouse, and 6 AccuCraft that need to be put together with 1 blue box. And I'm getting more trains in a couple of days. Should be here tomorrow, actually. But so thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next one. See you guys later. Bye.